Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. Should I say finally, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. The first episode in about a month, did you say it was,
Must
Kieran?
be a month, 2 months.
So
I mean, it was before.
For you.
Oh, for me.
For you it must be.
Sorry, I thought you were giving me this big intro.
No, for me, I'm not saying, I'm in general. You're not that special, Ryan.
No,
Calm
no.
down, son.
Well,
it's about Ryan's first in 2 months. I think, Kieran, you were saying the first in general for about
I mean, the last one was before the Rangers game, was it not?
I think so, previewing the derby. Wow.
we're not just talk about that today.
I'll just spend, an hour reminiscing on that fantastic derby result. So, lads, it was Celtic 4, Rangers 0. But welcome to everybody's favourite number. It's episode 69. I've got some stories for Santa Ponza to tell you all. I'm joking.
You're fucking wrong.
I'm certainly
Absolute deviant there,
I'm
boy.
taking the piss. I'm not that lucky. But welcome back to the podcast,
Has
ladies.
anyone ever been number 69?
No, I looked it up. I thought you were going to say, has anybody been 68? I was like, what the fuck's this podcast today?
This man's after a fucking flyer.
This is an NSFW one.
It is. But no, I don't believe so. I don't think we've ever had a number 69. Do you think that's like a forbidden number at the club?
Probably.
By
Don't
the
want to
way,
look at the
mate,
kit man in the eyes with that number, do you?
imagine that you're sitting down for your meeting. So what number would you like? Here's what's available. Staring them stone cold in the eyes. 69.
I feel like if Paul Slane ever got like a permanent number at Celtic, that's the one he would go for.
Probably. So I'm joined alongside my two fantastic co-hosts today. I'll start with you, Kieran Auld, over on the left-hand side. We're off to Germany tomorrow. Are you pretty excited over there?
Aye, pretty buzzing to be fair, but as long as the uni doesn't find it.
Now, is that a smart thing to say when you could use these podcasts as like work? Do you think they would accept this as work?
That's
like
part of your folio.
part of your folio,
Oh, let's hope we do.
You can explain yourself when the time comes. And then in the middle, for the first time in ages, as we've already said, we've got Ryan McGinley. Ryan, are you happy to be back, mate? You said you were buzzing to be on today.
I was delighted, man. Even stayed off the drink last night because I wanted to come in here fresh. I'm the one that will be going to uni on Tuesday.
Listen now, let's behave.
It's me that's behaving, mate.
Can you excuse me for choosing to go and watch Celtic play
Mate, I
abroad?
wish I could get away with it. I just get that guilty conscience in my head, you know what I mean?
Once you get past the guilty conscience,
I need it.
How many layers of alcohol does it take to get rid of that guilty conscience?
2 or 3 Venoms, mate.
2 or 3?
Yeah.
We'll sort you out over in Berlin then. Right, we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to cover yesterday's game against Motherwell. We're obviously going to preview the big European game against Leipzig on Wednesday. For the sake of Kieran Auld's mental health, I'll hold back from calling them Rasenball Sport Leipzig.
I swear to fuck, man.
Here we go again.
Honestly, I'm going to put up with that for a fucking how many days?
4 days.
For too many, man.
There'll be some laugh when it's like Thursday and I'm talking about the result to randomers. Like, we played Rasenball Sport Leipzig last night and it was a good result for Celtic.
I should sit the opposite end of the fucking plane.
We'll start with Motherwell then. Let's get into it. Let's talk about yesterday's game because it was a game that seen a mixed reaction from the Celtic support and for some an overwhelmingly negative reaction, despite the 3 points, despite staying top of the table and despite bouncing back from defeat to St Mirren. Ryan McGinley, not everybody was pleased. So before we talk about the game itself, how would you react to the reaction of yesterday's game?
I mean, we're back to winning ways, although you would think on Twitter we'd been beat or we dropped points yesterday. I get people are criticising the performance. I get that because we were awful yesterday. Anyone dressing it up otherwise, I think it's a bit deluded because we were absolutely dreadful for large periods of that game. I think we only had 10 minutes. We were decent. But a win's a win. We lost our last game against St Mirren. and that's infinitely times better.
Yeah.
That we won.
We talk about yesterday's game. It was a weird one because we were bad. There's no shying away from that. And when there is criticisms to be had on the game, you've got to address those criticisms. But it was a weird game because it wasn't like a boring game. It was a game that was, you know,
It was a weird game.
It was like an entertaining enough game, but Celtic just weren't good enough, you know, and what we were doing. We weren't clinical enough. We weren't our normal selves. I think we were rather sloppy in possession. It was a lot of kind of minute problems that all added up into one massive sort of shit show for the game itself. But you're right. I feel there's so many people yesterday who are. Is it a case of people just still not being used to or being spoiled maybe from how good that we've been in previous games, in previous years maybe? Do you think there's an aspect of that? Do you think people are just, you know, you see us win 9-0 a few weeks ago and that suddenly becomes the norm?
Yeah, I think the standards have improved. I think people are just expecting us to hit those standards every game. We're not going to beat every team 9-0, although that 9-0 game feels like months ago now. I don't know about you. The standards have improved, and I think fans are maybe expecting more and more from the team. Not every game. We're not going to beat teams. We're not going to absolutely cuff teams every single game, but we got the 3 points. It's one of those 3 points up the road. We'll take it. Yeah.
Kieran, you're usually very vocal on what you think are bizarre takes in this world, and there's been a lot of bizarre takes since yesterday's full-time whistle. What's your general thoughts?
I mean, I think after the St Mirren loss, everybody just hit the fucking panic button straight away, and it's kind of because I had to stew for a couple of weeks at the international break, and everybody was hoping that yesterday would have came and blew them at the water to just sort of put any fears to rest. Wasn't the best of performances, as Ryan said. We got to 3 points, but I do think there was a bit of an overreaction on Twitter, as there usually is on Twitter, regardless of whether we're on top. People get carried away with that. When we're not playing at our best, people get very carried away with that. So I don't know, I just think it's pretty standard on Twitter these days, to be fair, and everybody's entitled to their opinion and that, but I think everybody is panicking a wee bit too much for my liking. Everybody, there was a mad tweet, I don't know if it was Everything Celtic or somebody put it up about how they're worried that we're not scoring enough goals and all that, but if you look at the bigger picture, we have scored quite a lot of fucking goals.
23 goals in the league, I believe it might be, which is I think it's 9 or 10 more than the Rangers.
Like 3 a game, so like, I don't know, I think it's a bit of a myth that we're no scoring. I think the last couple of games has just sort of put the fear into everybody that, because as Ryan said, we've went through winning 9-0 to the last couple of performances, which have been lacklustre, but still we got the job done yesterday, and the game could have been out of sight if it wasn't for hitting the post. And did we hit the bar for the free kick?
We hit the bar, aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
So the game could have been out of sight. Put an absolute piss poor goal to get away. That was shocking, but I mean, mistakes do happen, but I think as soon as something goes wrong, I think people are starting to feel that it's going to snowball just because of things that have happened in the past.
Yeah. What do you think that Do you think there's a reason that let's just say Celtic have went off the boil in quotation marks? I still think, listen, it was a bump in the road against St Mirren. You've got to be handed a loss every now and then. It happens. I don't even think we are off the boil, but let's for a second say Celtic are off the boil. Against Shakhtar, we didn't take our chances. We should have won the game. Against St Mirren, we lost, and against Motherwell yesterday, we weren't great. So 3 games in a row where you should probably we could have won, we should have won, and then we should have won more convincingly yesterday. Do you think there's we had a brief conversation when we first came into the studio today, Ryan, about why it could be. Do you think that the international break and the postponement of the Livingston game and such has had an impact on the Celtic side?
I think there's a number of things. I think the Real Madrid game as well has affected us. I don't know, they were flying going into that game, but they had us believing that we could actually, well, maybe we were a tad deluded in thinking that we could get something against Real Madrid. Yes, we did play well in the first half.
Some say deluded, some say optimistic.
So I'm in between, I think, with that. And I think that 3-0, I mean, it wasn't a 3-0 game, but it kind of daunted us a wee bit. And then the fact that the games get postponed that weekend took us we were off our stride a wee bit. That postponement was awful, obviously. Didn't get the game at the weekend, and then coming back, I thought we played really well against Shakhtar the next. We just didn't take our chances. I mean, if we take our chances, we could have won that game by 2-3 goals. We were just unlucky. And then the St Mirren game for me was just an anomaly. But I don't think we're off form or anything. It's just a tiny wee patch. We just need to get things right. I wish we were in a better position going into the Leipzig game, because I would have been more buzzing for that game on Wednesday if we'd have had a more convincing win yesterday. But we won the game, so I mean, you can moan up to a point, but it's still 3 points, and you get the same amount of points for beating teams 9-0 you do scraping a 2-1.
It's mad what a couple of chances does to a game and what that can change, because we talked about Shakhtar a couple of weeks ago. If we took a couple of chances, we'd have won the game, and the atmosphere, the mood would have been completely different. Kieran, yesterday, if we score those 2 chances that hit the post and the bar, the tone changes completely different. The manager said after the game yesterday, you know, if you put those chances away, suddenly the conversation is very different. It was a quotes along those lines, and I think that's very true, Kieran. Like, if we won that game yesterday 4-1, and I know it's if buts and maybes and they don't really mean anything, but the reaction and the mood would be so different if we just managed to find the net rather than the post.
I know, it is just pure ifs and buts, but I mean, like, see what you're talking about in terms of the mood, and that's even the mood in the stadium. Like, you could actually feel it yesterday again. It's like, I'm just trying to think back to previous examples. Like, mind when we beat Dundee United last season, last minute winner, Labada. See, in the stadium when we were missing chances or we weren't getting forward, because we knew it was on the line. I think it was because Rangers played early that day as well.
And it dropped points and all the rest of it.
We didn't want to drop points like yesterday. So obviously everybody was panicking a wee bit, but you could feel everybody getting on the players' backs. Now I know it's sort of hanging the team on a wee bit, but it wasn't really a sort of, I don't know, the atmosphere, I don't know, just I feel like obviously the performance on the pitch reflected into the stands, but I don't know, I just hate when it's like that, because obviously everybody's guilty of just getting pure rage at the slightest wee thing, but every misplaced pass and that, everybody's on their back. So I mean, we got there in the end, but it's just I hate when it's like that, man.
I think the biggest example was, I think, when Welsh came forward with the ball and he didn't release it quick enough, and you could hear the fans getting on him. And this is a guy that's really low in confidence now. You can tell he's playing within himself. He can play better than this. I'm not subscribing to this fact that he isn't a good. I think he's an okay player. He's a good squad player, but I don't think he's absolutely useless. What people are saying online, I think it's been over the top. But you can see he's playing within himself, and the fact that the crowd are getting on his back a wee bit isn't helping. You can see he's thinking about what he's doing. He's overthinking. It doesn't help the team, and I think there just needed to be a wee bit of calm. We got there eventually, but we just need to give this. I think this team. We trust this team. We just need to trust it a wee bit more. This team deserve our trust.
That's the thing with Celtic fans, is it's 1 week it's so easy to be on the highest of highs, and then the week after that you're in panic stations.
We're a fickle bunch.
We are a fickle bunch.
Reactionary, very.
Talking about players who people were getting on the back of yesterday, let's go through some of the performances from yesterday, because there was a few guys who probably didn't play to the standards that we normally expect, and there was a few people taking a lot of criticism from the game yesterday. One of those players was Josip Juranovic, who you know, admittedly did not have the greatest game of his Celtic career yesterday. A lot of people quickly now starting a kind of bandwagon of he's not the player he was last season. He's caught up in his own hype, and simply he's not as good a player as what we thought he was, or he thinks he is. Has there been an overreaction to that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Kieran, you were first to hit the buzzer there, so on you go.
Well, I mean, you see people on Twitter, no naming any names, but everybody's seen it on Twitter yesterday. I think people are just, I don't know, I think it's just weird to single a player that was so important for us last year. Like everybody was touting there this summer saying, oh, he's no even that, he's a £20 million player minimum, and as soon as he's had a bad couple of games or he's not been at his absolute highest level of performance, it's like, it's shite. It's just, it always happens, like, and it's infuriating with our support. Like, everybody's guilty of sort of getting on people's backs all the time, but sometimes it's just like a couple of bad games and everything they've ever done's out the window, sort of thing.
Yeah, once again, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You know, if you don't think, you know, if you think that Juranovic isn't good enough, or then this goes for anybody. You know, like if Juranovic isn't good enough or Ralston isn't good enough, that's fine, fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion, but I feel like there has been such a, you know, there's been such a quick jumping on his back yesterday, like, where, well, listen, the whole team wasn't great. Like, why was singling out one player?
I think people have got that screenshot of that Fabrizio Romano tweet in their head,
and
this has been locked up for a wee bit. Maybe that anger and the fact that they've seen his performances dip over the season, and now they're just bringing it out on him. I think you just need to let the guy get out of his slump of form. He'll be fine. He's a good player. He's playing well for Croatia, like last week.
Yeah.
So we don't need to worry. He'll probably have a great game against Leipzig now.
Aye, well, I hope so. Touch wood.
Do you know, he's made us strong stuff. I'm sure he knows he's going through a bad bit of form for us.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a bad bit of form, but I don't even think he's been that bad. He's not been noticeably bad, I wouldn't say.
It was a weird game for me yesterday, because, yeah, it wasn't great and he deserves the criticism, but there was bursts in the game where I thought he was actually, like, looking...
The thing is, he's trying to play himself out of bad form. He's not hiding away. I think it would be worse if he was trying to hide away, but he's not that type of player. He wants to get on the ball, he wants to try and create things and make things happen. And if he scored that free kick, everybody would be talking about how great a goal that is. He's the best thing since sliced bread and all that. Just need to give him time to get out of this form. I'm sure he'll have a good game on Wednesday and we'll all be singing his praises.
Hope so. Kieran, are you going to add something there?
I was going to just move away from like players that are getting criticism, but also one that is sort of up for that talking point yesterday because he had a brilliant game, but then caused the red card inadvertently. It was Rio Hatate, because I was buzzing from when he actually got that goal, because we were saying it yesterday, he's got an absolute bullet of a strike on him, man. Like, he's been choking for a goal at that for a good while again, but obviously he rattled the post with one in the first half and then finally got it in the second half. Brilliant goal. But then he was also at fault for McGregor having to bring down, who was it he actually brought down? I've not watched it back.
Was it Molt?
Was it Molt? I thought it was Molt, but
I probably would have been.
Saying it was either him or Cornelius. I'm not sure if Cornelius was still in the park.
I couldn't say for certain, to be fair, but even on that, I think the Tatino end up getting man of the match as well.
Aye.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It was sort of spoiled a wee bit at the end of that, but all round, Atati did have a decent game, and then it was a shame he done that at the end, because it did sort of put a wee bit of a damp to him. It was a brilliant performance, I thought, and a team that wasn't playing to the best of their ability yesterday. But I don't know, I just think even on the McGregor thing, McGregor done the right thing there to bring him down. Everybody was praising McGregor for that, and I don't know, but you could argue the thing he wasn't the last man, but it would just get said that he's denying a goal scoring opportunity. So I'm not even going to argue the red card. He'd done the right thing, brought him down, so it's just a shame that we're going to be missing him for, what game is it next weekend?
St Johnstone away. Do you know what though? Like, I think it's a kind of blessing in disguise that he's out next week.
Yeah.
I really do. I think he needs the rest. Yesterday he looked. He's a shell of himself.
Well, he played 270 minutes.
Exactly.
For Scotland.
He's played so. I think it's a blessing in disguise. It's a well-deserved rest, and it gives Abildgaard the chance to potentially start against St Johnstone.
He's the opening, hasn't he?
I really do think that this is a blessing in disguise for McGregor. Do you know what? Maybe he meant it. Maybe he thinks to himself, you know what? Next week I can get next week off. I may as well.
Either that or Hatate's done it for him. Hatate's like, here.
You give him a wee high five in the tunnel. Boy.
Well, to be fair, McGregor was raging with Hatate. He was giving him stick.
Yeah, as you would, because you have just there put the team at risk of conceding a goal. Like, you're obviously going to be quite angry at that as the captain, and then obviously you're subject to a red card.
I think Hatate and Juranovic are in the same sort of boat, that the fans will get on their back if they drop any sort of standard, because we know how good they are.
It's the problem of setting the standard so high, isn't it?
And I think that Hatate is a tremendous player. I think he's arguably the best player in Scotland when he's on form.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's that good. I think he just... There's nobody on his level.
Better than Jota?
Different players, but I think Hatate can just control games. But I do think he is capable, or he is guilty of playing within himself at times. I think he can play it second gear when he can get third or fourth gear. There was a point where my dad was talking to me during the game. He's like, do you think Hatate's really trying? Do you think he's really playing? I'm like, this is the way he plays. He'll just turn it on, and then there was a point that he went out on the wing, and then he get this burst of pace. Like, I didn't realise he had this amount of pace on him. He can just turn it on just like that.
I just think technically he's class as well. Like, obviously you can't fault his technique with the fucking goal.
He's easy on the eyes, very pleasing to watch. And I think when he plays well, we play well. So
the amount of times I've seen that fucking video of that pass against Real Madrid, I know, man.
Beautiful. Technically brilliant.
Well, what a win for Celtic.
We've been going on about Motherwell for about 18 minutes now. So any kind of closing comments before we move on to kind of tying it into Wednesday's game, because of big game to preview. Any final thoughts?
I feel like we covered everything, didn't we?
Yeah, I feel like we've covered everything nicely. Well,
who do you think was at fault for that goal? We haven't really talked about the one goal. It's kind of like the elephant in the room.
I've not watched it back yet because it hurts my fucking soul.
I've not watched it back. From where we sit at Celtic Park, it looked like both. There was a lack of communication. It looked as though both of them were responsible for it. I think that Hart, I love him. He's a wee wobble.
The question I've got: will people give Hart as much stick as they've given Juranovic? Because Hart's been off form the past couple of years as well.
I've seen people give Hart stick, to be honest.
I done a live stream last night for my match reaction, and Hart was getting it stinking in the comments.
Was he?
He was getting it stinking in the
comments.
That's
fair enough.
And do you know what? Listen, once again, past few games definitely could do better. That's what I'm saying. I think Astigie's had a wee wobble. I think he's lost his way a wee bit. But I raised this point in my live stream, and I'm going to raise it again now. I think that the uncertainty surrounding the defence has done no one any good at Celtic at the minute. The chopping and changing of who's playing. We've not even played one game with Starfelt and Vickers at centre half. Like, over the course of 90 minutes anyway, they've not played together.
Wow.
90 minutes. They've not, like, Starfelt was
Injured
out at the
start
start of the season, came back, blah, blah. I don't think they've played 90 minutes
It's
together.
been very chop change this season.
and I don't
so
think that's helped anybody in the defence. Greg
Exact-
Taylor's the only consistent defender of their team this season.
That is true, yeah.
No,
I don't think it's helped anybody.
We were so good last year defensively because we had that set defence for so long. But when you've got people, you've got to have Jens and Welsh starting. I wouldn't mind Jens starting next to Carter Vickers, but they two together's just not it for me, to be honest. And also, see, I seen people on Twitter saying it. I was like, see, to be fair, we seen Leipzig won 4-0 yesterday. And I know they were playing bottom of the league Bochum, weren't they? Are they bottom of the league?
Yeah.
But you see Nkunku getting a couple of goals, you see Timo Werner getting a couple of goals. For fuck's sake, right before they play us.
Yep.
But
They've got goals all over their team. I know we've probably got into the preview.
Leipzig have got a good team through it, to be fair.
Right, well, let's transition nicely into the preview for Wednesday's game. It is the Champions League once more. It is match day 3 for Celtic. We currently sit on 1 point, lost to Real Madrid, of course, draw away from home to Shakhtar. It's our second away game at Leipzig at the Red Bull Arena against the Leipzig side, who are very much going through a transition yet again. The sacking of Tedesco, the appointment of Marco Rosa. It is a new sort of era for Leipzig. 10th in the table as they currently sit. They've not had the great start to the season. 3 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws in between. And of course, as we've touched on, the result of the weekend, the 4-0 win against Bochum. Timo Werner, new signing. Shooting boots have been found. And Nkunku, one of the best forwards in Europe on
Go to
current
Chelsea.
form. Do you think he will?
Was
Well, he's
there no
already
talk
done
that-
his medical.
I heard that.
Oh, aye, wow.
He'll light up the Premier League.
Fantastic players, 2 dangerous players, and then you look at the rest of the team. Fantastic keeper in Goulashy. They've got players that all that you've got your fucking
Orban.
liners and all that. Some team that they've got there.
Shame they couldn't do fuck all eyebrow.
I know, and a team
So
who've
weird.
definitely underachieved so far this season. They won the DFB Pokal last season, the equivalent, of course, of Scottish
Against
Cup.
Freiburg.
Against Freiburg, yeah. And they're a side who definitely can do damage. But a side that have showed weakness. 4-1, Shakhtar Donetsk managed to beat Leipzig.
Aye.
We were really good against Shakhtar. We should have won the game. I think Leipzig beating Bochum 4-0 is huge, but as the team bottom of the table, this is a side that we can beat. Kieran, if we turn up, we were there, we were in the stadium, we watched us play Shakhtar, we should have fucking won.
I know.
And if you turn up and you play to that same standard and you take your chances, this is a game that is certainly winnable for Celtic on Wednesday.
I know. I mean, I spoke earlier about how we have been scoring goals and that, but in Europe it is obviously a case of we're not going to get as many chances as we would in the league. We can't rely on the fact that another one will come. If we get a big chance, especially against a team like Leipzig, we need to take it. We need to be clinical, because when we were in Poland for that game, it was so frustrating because we knew that game could have been well out of sight. They gave us a decent game at points, to be fair. They were in control for maybe 10-15 minute spells, but overall Celtic were a far better team, and walking out that stadium, I hate saying it, but it felt like a loss.
It did. I was raging.
Because honestly, like, when you had that many chances, Yakimakis one, people were right on Maeda for that chance that happened in that game, but the pace that was coming across, I thought Yakimakis was the big chance that he definitely should have tucked away. But no, it was a frustrating performance, but hopefully we're not sitting here saying the same next week after Leipzig, because especially going away from home, we can sort of rely a wee bit at home in Europe that we can try and be a bit better. We might control the ball a bit more, but when we're away to these teams, the likelihood is we're not going to see the majority of possession. We're going to have to try and take their chances when they come. So you just need to hope everybody's bang on form on Wednesday night, because we really don't want to be ruining missed chances that we were against Shakhtar.
Yeah, defensively is probably my biggest. We talk about missed chances, but defensively is what I'm worried about the most going into this game. Will we see a return for either Vickers or Starfelt?
I don't know if they want to rush them back, but I think Carter Vickers needs to be back for
I would love it
Wednesday
if
if
it was.
possible.
I would love it if it
I'm
was.
sure he said that Starfelt's still a couple of weeks away.
I don't think Vickers is the only one I'm hopeful for, and
I think we
hopeful
need
is
him
we
in
do
the
need
team.
him, because the thought of Stephen Welsh up against either Nkunku or Werner is terrifying. Like,
Put him on for a Yarkard defo because he's pulling somebody down.
oh, he's got to. Isn't he? He's
It's
just
definitely a red
That's your-
card.
that's
That's
your
definitely a
betting
red
tip for
card.
me.
Yeah, you see so many away days that a Celtic
don't
player
need
just
it.
get. You see
Right,
it.
let's just no fucking think
I
that
know, I know.
existence, man.
one player.
We missed Carter Vickers' progressiveness on the ball, I'd say, as well. He
Yeah.
starts so many attacks.
I feel like Jens definitely has that in his locker.
He does. I think you've seen Jens
maybe
trying
because
it.
he's no got Carter Vickers beside him to have the confidence to actually bomb forward. But I don't know if he's got Welsh beside him, he might not feel. I hate to do the thing to Stephen Welsh here, but I just feel like it would be a lot more confident with a more established defender beside at his side compared to Stephen Welsh. Because if he's sitting there thinking Jens is the one that's got to take the leadership in that back to, like, even though fucking Stephen Welsh has played for us for years, but
This is the thing as well. Jens is only a year older than Stephen Welsh. That's
Yeah.
mad.
you forget that because Stephen Welsh is Scottish, but it's like, I don't know, you just automatically think all these like foreign players coming in are a lot older than but they are.
One player that needs to step up on Wednesday for me is Jota, because against Shakhtar Donetsk he was disappointing in the sense that he was trying. He certainly was trying, but he was maybe trying too much. And there was chances in the game, and there was moments in the game where a player of his brilliance should be doing more. And he's the kind of guy that needs to stand up to these fullbacks. Now, Leipzig are a team who've got two quality fullbacks. I've just signed that Raum from Hoffenheim. He's on the left-hand side.
That Angelino.
And then Angelino's away to Hoffenheim.
Is he?
He's away to Hoffenheim.
I thought he was
a
fucking
swap.
quality as well.
He's away, basically swapped. Raum's came in and Angelino's left.
That's the point.
I
I
thought
got
he was
left,
left.
and then
Angelino's
you
gone.
said that.
They've got Raum on the left, and who is it they've got on the right again? It's it's slipped my head now. It's slipped my head. That's going to annoy me. They've got two quality fullbacks as well.
Simican's a centre half, isn't he?
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But Jota needs to stand up, Ryan, I think, and try and learn from the mistakes of that last game, because he was frustrating to watch, I thought.
And he didn't hide away. He was trying to make things happen. It just didn't work out. But these are the games that we brought Jota in for. I know we brought him in to get goals and assists in the Premiership, but these are the games that he wants to play. He talks about dreaming of playing in the Champions League. These are the games that he's got to realise his potential and show just how good a player he is, because he's our talisman.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as Kyogo's a sharpshooter up front, Jota's probably our best player, arguably our best player. He's the guy that's going to make things happen, and he needs to turn up.
Yeah.
Jota's a match winner. Especially, even at, he's a match winner, and he could be a match winner at Champions League level, because he's a class above everybody else in the league when he's on form. So you know the actual ability he's got in his locker. So it's just frustrating when he's not doing what everybody knows he's capable of. And he's another player that I think suffers for, we expect the absolute best from him, because we know just how class he is. But I'm hoping that Wednesday will be his chance to prove himself on the big stage. And I don't know, I don't like going out and saying I'm confident in it, but I'm hopeful that this will be the game that he can sort of maybe put it to rest a wee bit, because everybody was absolutely buzzing off him after we beat Rangers 4-0. That goal, technical ability to do that, like, everybody knows what he's capable
That's
of.
why he needs to deliver in Europe, innit?
Yeah.
I'm just hopeful that the front three is going to be him, Kyogo and Abada.
We're going to go through our team in a moment, what we would play. Ryan, you were right, it is Samakin who's the right back.
He can play
for
both.
Leipzig. So, Jota's got to be... Like, I mean, you just look through that 11, just to read it very quickly. Leipzig's starting 11 at the weekend was Galashi, Samakin, Aubin, Vardiol, Holstenberg, Schläger, Campo, Soboslai, and Kunku, Werner, and Andre Silva. That is a very good team. And then you look to their depth in the bench, they've still got the likes of Forsberg, Raum, who didn't start, Henrichs. They've got great players in amongst that team who can do a lot of damage to Celtic. So it's
Good
just
thing we
about...
don't need to worry about Sesko just yet.
I just want us to be able to believe in ourselves to the same, let's get over this kind of hump, and the fans need to really buy into that as well now. Lift yourself for the rut to believe that we can beat teams like this, because this is a kind of, in a sense, a must-win game if we want to.
After this game, we're halfway into the group stage.
Yeah.
You're going to have a very clear indication if you're fighting to get into a second spot, or if you're going to be trying to scrape to get into that third spot.
Because Leipzig, of course, are the only team with no points. They're the only one with no points in the game. They were unlucky against Real Madrid. I think they conceded 2 goals quite late, so they held on quite well. I think that might have been Rose's first game in charge as well. It might have been, maybe had a domestic game beforehand, but it was one of his first games in charge. So they held on well. If they suddenly get 3 points, then we're the team at the bottom, and we're the ones that need the results from the last 3 games.
This is the match day that's going to shape the group. So, I mean, the home games are obviously going to be vital, but I think we need to get something for this game if we want to be realistic about if anybody wants to keep thinking we're going to get into the last 16 of this, because it's going to be a very tall order. I know it's not exactly out the realms of possibility, but if we don't get a win in this game, then I think it's a wee bit out of reach.
Like, even if you get a draw in this game, right? If you
it
draw
up.
in this game,
The
you
head-to-head,
then turn around to 2 very winnable home games. I don't want to be guilty of that usual typical Celtic fan approach where, like, they're home games we should be winning. They're tough games, but they are games that you know, you look at our performances and go, right, we can win these. So if you suddenly get a draw here and then you've got 2 games where you could win at Celtic Park, it becomes a very tasty prospect. So it is of mass importance that we try and leave the Red Bull Arena with something.
Because I think it's going to be really tight between 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
It will be,
Madrid
I
are
think.
just going to run away with this group. That's just what's going to happen. I expect them to pick up 6 points against Shakhtar.
Yeah.
Hopefully no surprises happen there. But if we can get 4 points, I'd love 4 points against Leipzig, because that's good for the head-to-head. If we were to beat them at home and get a draw away from home, on either or, as long as we are ahead of them in the head-to-head,
I just thought about going. See, I thought I'd gone to the Bernabeu, but and we need something like that. Just gives me so much fear. Like,
can that be a non-event, please? Because I've got Kendrick Lamar the same night.
Is that a home game?
No, it's
Oh,
away.
is that Madrid?
Yeah, away in Madrid,
right,
2nd of November.
Aye.
It just shows you how quick this group's going to go in.
I know.
'Cause the next month, it's just going
And
to
that's-
no time to stop and think, man.
Do you think that's taking a big toll as well on Celtic's form at the minute? The fact that this has been so thick and fast.
I mean, it is a packed fixture schedule, to be fair. I mean,
9
everybody
games in
knew
October.
it was coming up, to be fair. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's not exactly got the feeling like. I don't know, see when you get into the December fixtures, normally that's when you start to see tired legs and people dropping out with injuries and that. And I don't know, I feel like, see, it's not got the same sort of vibe about it now, but see, just because we've had the injuries and then people are saying we're off form and that, I don't know, it's just not the nicest time to have all these fixtures coming up, because it's generally non-stop, because we've got Leipzig, then we've got St Johnstone, then we've got Leipzig again, then we've got
Hibs at home.
then you've got cup games and all that coming up as well.
So
So
get Motherwell away in there somewhere.
Well,
Hearts is Hearts away a midweek fixture?
no, it's weekend, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Aye,
weekend.
Saturday.
There's only one.
It'll need to be because Hearts are playing in.
Yeah, the only midweek
as well.
fixtures we've got is Cup and Champions League.
Aye.
They're all weekends. All Saturdays bar Livingston, which
It's
is
a
a
busy
Sunday.
month, and the month is capped off with fucking Livy away. So
Yep. So we'll go through what we think should be the team to start against Leipzig in a moment. Here's Ange Postecoglou's update on Cameron Carter-Vickers and his availability for Red Bull Leipzig. He was asked after the game yesterday, says, we'll see. He got some treatment again and he'll get some done on Sunday, and we'll see how he is Monday and Tuesday before we make a decision. He's not far away, but we have another 12 games in about 40 odd days, so I'm not going to put him in unless he's absolutely right, because it would be silly of us to put him in and then for to lose him for another few games, particularly with Carroll out for at least another couple of weeks. He's pretty good. If he's ready, he'll play and put his hand up. I don't need to question that, but we have to make sure that we make the right decision and give him every chance.
you do have to think of the bigger picture. I know we're desperate to get the result on Wednesday, but you've also got to think of all the important games we've got coming up the rest of the month. So I don't know, it's no one you want to hear, but realistically, if we want to be rational, it's probably no. We do need him on Wednesday, but you don't want to rush him in and he gets injured again. So
I think he's going to play.
I have a feeling
I think with those comments, I think he's playing.
I have a feeling he will. I think it's going to be one of those ones. I can picture us already keying out in like the Leipzig square, waiting patiently for the teams to come out. Everybody's like, oh, it's got to be Welsh, it's got to be Welsh and Jens, it's got to be Welsh and Jens. Oh, Vickers is starting, you know, like, hopefully. I mean, touch.
That was so exciting.
Remember when Kyogo was fit for Leverkusen?
Aye.
I think it was Leverkusen.
It was. Aye.
And everybody was sort of buoyed by that.
And then we got battered for nothing.
Yeah, it was never a 4-0 game.
I know. It didn't help that Hradeski made about 45 saves.
It's absolutely unbelievable.
I've blocked that game from my memory.
Aye. Right, let's go through what our starting 11 predictions are for the game. Joe Hart in goals,
Yep.
of course. So who is our back fours then? Juranovic and Taylor, naturally,
Yeah.
as the two fullbacks.
Carter, Vickers and Jens.
Do we all
Yeah.
think Vickers will be back?
Yeah.
Hopefully, but with him and Maurice Jens, I think.
Okay. Midfield 3.
McGregor definitely, because he won't be playing on the Sunday. I mean, he's a captain, he's going to play.
Aye.
Will it be O'Reilly and Othate?
I think they'll stick with it.
Or does he go with Abudgard?
Well, I
as
was
the
going to
number
raise.
6?
I was going to raise the point here. I wish that he got more minutes yesterday, because I think if he came on yesterday and he showed enough, there could be a genuine conversation for it to be Abudgard, McGregor, and
To get him ready for when he has to play
yeah,
at the weekend. So.
like I really did hope. Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to go wild card and say Abudgard, McGregor, Hatate. There's my 3. I'm going to go wild
I'm
card.
completely agree with you there.
Yeah.
I think Hatate can be the furthest one forward.
Yeah, I'm going to go with those
him
3.
in that role,
I
actually.
wouldn't mind seeing it, to
Because,
be fair. But
like-
you could play Abudgard in the 6 and let McGregor push forward, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to do that. I think he might just stick with
the normal thing.
with the usual. But I feel like after
different.
everybody getting on the backs of the team on the weekend, and he'll probably have seen that it wasn't as free flowing as you want it to be, so he might make the change. But I don't know. I can't see what Turnbull or them starting.
Nah.
My school of thought for why Abelgard might genuinely start is because I didn't expect Haksabanovic to start against Shakhtar. I thought that was a wild card. I thought that came out of the blue, and he started him that day. And when you look at the thought of Nkunku and Werner running at you because they carry so much pace, maybe you need someone like a holding midfielder and Abelgard to sit in front of that back four, especially if Vickers isn't fit. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go wild card Abelgard.
I think if Carter Vickers isn't fit, then you have to play Abelgard for that protection. Even for Welsh. There has been talk that Abelgard can play as a centre half as well.
I don't know if that's the game they throw him in it.
I know.
It's like, imagine it was like Beaton
I know,
Pops.
it's like Beaton. It's like Beaton all over game. Do we just have to have a defensive mid that plays as a centre half? Is that just in a contract somewhere? We just have to have that. That's the criteria.
Sponsors.
Aye. No, I would like to see Abelgard and I want to see him more. And the one thing I think of, if not now, when?
Yeah.
You know, these are the games that we've kind of brought him in.
I feel like it is probably the perfect opportunity for him to, like, as you said, McGregor getting the red card. I feel maybe he was in danger of being like an Ideguchi that was just going to be on the fringes of the team and there was never any opportunity for him to seriously get a game. Maybe Motherwell in the Cup would have been the gateway for him, but I feel like it's hard for players to, like, and especially a midfielder like that, like, to come in and cement your place into a midfield that has been pretty set in stone for the past, like, for this year anyway.
Yeah.
Like, everybody always knows the best midfield three since January's been McGregor, Hatate and O'Reilly. Have you seen MD speaking about O'Reilly the other weekend?
I was going to speak about him too. He's off form. I think
he
both
got
attacking mids haven't made the position their own. I know O'Reilly's getting it by default just now, I think, because Turnbull didn't play well at all against St Mirren, but the two of them, I think they're off form. I know O'Reilly gets a wee shout for the goal because he spots Hatate being free. So
what we're saying about the game on Wednesday, but like you might be a wee bit off form in that, but see, in terms of genuine technical ability, I don't think there's a better midfield three than McGregor, Hatate and O'Reilly. Like, all three of them are well capable like defence, splitting passes and that, and I feel like as much as we're saying about you need a defensive midfielder against people like Nkunku and that, you do, but then you also need to find the balance of when we are on the attacking front, you need every pass to be absolute bang on against teams like us. So I don't know. Yeah, I think there is a balance that needs to be found, but I don't know what that is.
To be fair, we played that free against Real Madrid, so we'd do the same against Leipzig probably. That's just the way Ange plays.
Yeah. So let's have a sweepstake right now before we go into our front three. Who's going to be the first outlet at the press conference on Tuesday to ask if Ange will change his style?
Celtic star.
Are they going to be present? I don't know. It might be.
It might be.
No, they won't be because it'll be in Germany. So it'll only be the big boys.
Keradine, we'll ask it.
Who?
Keradine.
Who's that?
BBC reporter.
Ah, right. I just think of Chris McLaughlin when I think of BBC, to be honest.
To be fair,
Not the Gru one.
I always thought that Gru was a parody of Chris McLaughlin. I don't know. I thought that. I didn't realise that was his actual name.
In the front three, I'll kick us off again. I want Abada, Kyogo, Jota.
Aye.
That's a three.
I think that's what everybody wants, to be fair.
Well, personally, deep down, I want Haksabanovic, but I think Abada is just, he's so fucking good, and he deserves more starts, man. Like, he's so good.
Do you think he's a good winger or he's a good forward? Because I think the winger part of his games is the things that he needs to improve on.
I just think he's brilliant. He's good. He's a
20.
goal scorer. He can make goals. He runs. I just think he's brilliant.
If we're going to FM, inside forward.
That's what I think he is, honest. I don't think he's... I think Haksabanovic is more of a winger than a Abada.
I feel like people get on the wingers' backs for like the crosses and that into the box, because I feel like I feel like their strengths don't come through the crossing. It's like the wee 1-2s and that to get themselves into the box and then a shooting opportunity. I feel like that's more present with Abada when he's coming in after right. He's playing the 1-2 with like O'Reilly or somebody, and I feel like that's where most of their joy comes through when it comes through after the wing. But nah, I do think Abada should get the chance. Like, I don't know, I'm just thinking back to the game last year when we played away to Ferencvaros and you had Jota, Abada and Kyogo all playing quality. Like,
fluid.
So I don't know, I'm just hoping for a wee repeat or something like that.
Right. Ryan, so your front three's are you having hacks then? I love them. I'll be wearing it again. I'll have the hacks top on because I tell you,
I should jinx that, cunt.
How have I jinxed them? But both games that I have
Got an assist in his
both
first game.
games that I have wore the Haksabanovic top, we battered Rangers 4-0 and we didn't lose against Shakhtar. So it's gone well. It'll be more on Wednesday and the streak will continue. We will not lose to Leipzig if I wear it. Hopefully. God bless. I love him. It's a shame he's only got 10 minutes.
Jota on the left, Abada on the right. We can bring Haksabanovic off in the last 20.
Yeah. Right, okay. There's our team predictions.
Bring 'em on, son. I don't know.
I'll hold. I'm holding back score predictions. We're not doing it. I don't want it.
Thank you.
Don't want it. We're not jinxing nothing. Right.
2-1 Celtic.
Oh, you hate you. Yeah.
Got to go large, mate.
Right. Okay.
Jinx doesn't exist.
Before we get into our last topic and questions, we're going to play a wee game. Ryan, you better get your sheet loaded up. We're going to play the. We've only done it one episode so far, but we're going to bring it back for this episode. It is Celtic Tenable, and this time,
Fuck's it tenable still?
present with us, Warwick Davis, ladies and gentlemen.
My fuck.
No need. That is a low blow, mate.
Yes, it is low.
Jeez, oh man.
Such a
Absolutely
evil you are.
sickening.
Sorry,
So
sorry.
the reason I'm doing this as well is because I've left my phone over there.
Oh, yeah, twat.
So I need to do it.
Right, that's cool. But this is just make sure none of us are peeking.
Right,
so
that's all right,
I'll briefly explain what's happening. If you missed episode 68 of the podcast, thank you very much to Kieran Sellik, our good friend of the show,
Legend.
who has sent us in this. We're going to get back to doing. I need to get in touch with Matthew to get the normal quizzes back as well. But thank you, Kieran, for our halftime game. Basically, if you've watched the show Tenable, you get a list. There's 10 things on the list. Me and Kieran will take turns at trying to guess what is on said list, and we'll see if we can complete the list. So I'm going to hand it over to the host of Tenable for today, Ryan McGinley, and you can tell us what we and Kieran have got to try and get.
So, the last 10 goal scorers for Celtic in the UEFA Champions League. For clarification, we're looking for the last 10 individual goal scorers for Celtic in the UEFA Champions League group stages. Own goals will not be counted, i.e. Raheem Sterling, Man City.
Right, okay. Cool. So, who's starting? Who's starting this in? Try and get this 10.
Do you want me to start with a name? Do we just sit and name everybody here? Like,
Aye, so you go, I'll go, you go, I go, and then...
we don't need to do it in order, don't we know?
No.
Scott Sinclair.
Yep.
You bastard, I was
Yep,
going to
he's
take
in the
him.
middle.
Right, okay. Champions League.
Okay, aye.
Musa Dembele.
Yep.
Nice.
Callum McGregor.
Yep.
Aye.
Got my next one.
Oof.
How many have we got? 3?
10.
Nah, mate.
I've got 3 so
Oh,
far.
yeah, you've got 3.
Let me think.
Fuck me, Ryan.
What?
Just think back to the last Champions League group
I'm
stage.
thinking back to the last Champions League group stage. And I can't think who scored in it. Right, I'm going to go to Gary Hooper.
Not too far back.
Oh, you bastard. Oh, what? So that, am I fucked? Is that how it works? I don't know.
Paddy Roberts.
Yep.
So he did,
Man
man.
City.
So he did.
Scored against Anderlecht as
Aye,
well.
that was the one. That was the one I'm thinking.
Right, so Kieran's winning now. He's got more than me. Georges Samaras.
Yep. He is 9th on the list out of 10.
Wow.
So that's just sort of ballpark.
Right, okay.
There's one person before him.
Was that one against Shakhtar class an own goal?
Yeah.
Aye. Right, let's see.
So Kieran's the one up on me just now.
Who the fuck? Did you say Musa Dembele?
Yeah.
Aye. Yeah, let's go back a year.
Oh. Got one.
Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Bastard, I was going to say him next. Tony Watt.
Nope.
No, you bastard.
If Hooper was too far back, then why the fuck would Tony Watt be?
Because when was Samaras's? Samaras's was 2012 as well, so I thought that Tony Watt would have made it in.
Samaras' goal 2012.
Oh wait, did Samaras score the season after? I was thinking one against Spartak when I said Samaras. So that's why I said that. Ah, shite.
He must have scored in the season after.
Aye.
I can't remember
Yeah,
it.
can I for
How
life
many have
of
we
me.
still got to go?
Let me see what ones have you not got. You got one that I don't think should count, but it's there.
Kieran's already beat me anyway.
1,
Who else is there? Try to think of
3,
names.
4, 5 you've still got to get.
5 to get still.
Just trying back through the games.
I know, so am I. Like, I'm really struggling.
I think of the order they went in. Pumped in that game. Got pumped in that
Do you want a clue?
Right, go ahead.
A couple of unsavoury people are in this list.
Lee Griffiths.
Yep.
I was going to say Griffiths
Wait.
bad, didn't he? Who did he score against?
Anderlecht.
I saw
Oh,
it.
so he fucking-
Tierney put it ball across.
Beautiful goal. That was a beautiful
A couple
team
of
goal.
unsavoury people.
Yep.
A couple. Who else is unsavoury?
Well, he's unsavoury to the fans, I would say. Or at least I don't like him, and I know a lot of people, other people don't like him.
Who is that? Who could that be? Who could that be?
Oh, Fuck, I don't have a fucking clue.
Commons.
Yep.
Aye.
Chrissy Commons. Right, so that's what 7 we've got.
No.
Oh my god, who are they ever free?
What years were they?
It must be all 2012ish onwards. You know what I mean? It's got to be like that kind of time period.
Wait, is this including the 2012 campaign?
Right at the end, I think.
Well, like the Shakhtar
So if
game?
you,
The Spartak game, do you mean?
Aye, that's
so the last 10, obviously Hooper scored the first goal and then it was Commons the second. That's probably where it starts then.
Oh my god.
Because I can't think of another goal that Commons scored.
I'm trying to think the next Champions League campaign.
I know,
played
I'm
at
trying to
Ajax
think as
and
well. Ajax, who scored against Ajax?
Well, that's a big clue.
Biram Kaya.
Yep.
Fucking yes.
Forrest scored the penalty in that
Aye,
one,
then Kaya. So I think we've got the same amount now. I think we've
Oh, did
both
you
got
see
4 each.
Forrest?
I said
He said,
Forrest.
I think
Alright.
we've both got 4 each now. I think we've both got 4 each. Pretty sure.
I don't know.
Do you want to hear the last?
Wait, 2 more.
I'm just trying to think.
At least I
back to the
think it's
games.
2 more.
Who did we play in? So it was Ajax, Barcelona and who?
AC Milan.
AC Milan. I don't remember the AC Milan games for the life of
We
me.
got pumped 3-0 at home
Aye.
to AC Milan.
2-0 away, I think.
Oh well, we scored nothing then. Victor Wanyama.
No.
Joe Ledley.
No.
I don't know.
Gonna start naming
Aye,
players
aye.
for that team. Miku.
Mo Grew.
I don't know if you've...
Right, we get up.
I know, I get up.
You get up.
Did you
That's
say
just
four
Scott
each.
Sinclair?
He did.
I said Sinclair.
So the last one, I don't know why Rio Hitate's on this list.
I said fucking was Hitate's an own goal.
It was an own goal. It
No,
was
that's
an
what
own
I'm
goal.
thinking. Aye. So Hatate, Dembele, McGregor, Roberts, Sinclair, Griffiths, Forrest, Kyle, Samaras, Commons.
Right, well, Kieran's won anyway, so well done, Kieran. Well
I didn't
done.
even know this was a fucking head-to-head thing.
No, I think is it?
Well, no.
Are we,
I
are we working together for the common good?
just made it a competition at the end. 'Cause I wanted to beat you or something.
All right.
Well done.
Hatate's is an own goal.
It's a good list. Everybody at home probably wired through that. If they had it, but Hatate's went down as an own goal, didn't it? It
I'm
did.
sure
It
it did.
definitely
I
did
don't
go
know.
down.
I thought the rule with UEFA was if it's on target and deflects and still goes in.
I'm
it
checking right
counts.
now.
I thought it was an own goal, but
Shakhtar. This is like bring it up on the page. 1 Celtic. Shakhtar 1 Celtic 1. Yeah, Bondarenko 10th minute OG.
sort it out, Kieran.
Shot it out, Kieran's son.
Listen, as
Bloody
much
hell.
as I want it to be Hatate's goal too.
The best place to check is like the official UEFA website because that'll have like the goal scorer, but I can't find it. I'm not going for it. Right, that's that. Well done, ladies and
Who's
gentlemen. Hope you
next
enjoyed
up?
that game. So on Monday, I believe on Monday, there is a Celtic fan forum at Celtic Park where fans of the club will get to go and raise issues with the executives in relation to what's happening around the club and what's there. And now I don't know how passionate any of the two of yous are and the issues that might be raised at the club, but I thought we'd spend a brief sort of 5 minutes talking about potential topics that could be brought up to the board or potential things that you just personally think should be brought up if there's any issues at the club at this moment in time. Now we're incredibly lucky that right now Celtic are both performing incredibly well financially and on the pitch. There isn't a lot to hold gripes about, but there still is some minor things, and it could be as small as, you know, access to the concourses at half time to something as big as the transfer budget. It can be absolutely anything, but I just thought we'd spend 5 minutes brainstorming any things that you think should be fixed in relation to Celtic Football Club. What would you bring up to the club at the fan forum?
I think the resale of tickets, I know that's an issue that won't really go away, but there needs to be an easy way for fans to be able to pass their tickets on to others.
I mean, if Celtic ever actually, like, I seen somebody down south that's supported like United or somebody got their season
Yep.
ticket suspended
Yep.
for that.
That's
but
crazy.
Celtic when they do like that up here, would they?
I've never seen
I
an
think they've
example of it.
I think they've said that it doesn't really fit their business model. It wouldn't
Yep.
make sense for them at this moment in time. I know Rangers
just
do
feel-
something.
I feel like if you just look at like the way German clubs and that do it, but like it's pretty easy like for them to buy tickets and just sell them through like a ticket exchange system. Like Leipzig have got it for you could do it for this game coming up. So I don't know. To me, it's not like the tapping my like. I don't really have a major list of concerns, but if I had to think of something, I'd say that's probably a decent one that people would maybe want to see
Yeah.
It's
because
the only thing I can
There's
think
a-
of.
it
there's
would
a
make
fan-
it more official in that. Like,
There's a
it's just
fantastic system at place at Union Berlin in Germany where
They're doing well on and off the pitch.
yeah, they are. Basically, at Union Berlin, you can't get a match day ticket. The whole stadium is season ticket holders, apart from the away section, obviously. But that doesn't mean you can't go to the games. If a season ticket holder can't make the game at the weekend, they can put their seat up for grabs on the official website, and people can buy a ticket for that game using the season
I
ticket.
can only imagine the prices will be capped in it. You can't just like make up a price for it. Like they'll
Yeah,
have, like, set lists and
it
that.
will be. It'll be something like probably €20 for the seat or something. I feel like that's something that could be implemented if it was. But you don't see that on these shores anyway.
Aye.
You know, it's not a country that offers something like that. But it's a really good system that's in place.
When I was on Twickets.com, you know, the one that
Oh,
people can
jeez,
sell
aye,
for face value and under face value, I actually saw Queen's Park Rangers tickets on there.
Yeah, there's
That's
been a
quite
few football tickets
weird.
on there recently.
Aye.
I think Man City tickets I seen on there one time. Like,
Oh, name
They-
it
they-
street corners, man.
they really struggle to sell to.
Aye.
I mean, they shouldn't, but
They
you know,
do.
the fans are obviously just not there.
so like that could definitely be something that's brought up. I was thinking the one thing that I really want done, and it's more of a major issue, it would take a lot of money to do, but the redevelopment of both the Jockstein end and the Lisbon Lion end outside the ground. It's an eyesore. Both ends of the stadium are disgusting looking outside. It's a mess when you're walking up to them. The tarmac, the stones, everything about it. You go down to the main stand, it's gorgeous, it looks great, and of course that's got to be the most presentable bit 'cause it's the entrance to the stadium. But I think the other two ends of the stadium have been completely neglected. Obviously they can't do anything with the north stand because of the graveyard behind it. That's understandable. But I feel like the other two ends are due a facelift. That's what I would say. They've put the banners up, looks great. The actual stadium itself looks fine, but the outside and the surroundings I feel like need something done to it. Day up the car park, something, make it just look a bit more presentable. It's always annoyed me. I just think it's a bit of a mess. You go to Old Trafford. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Old Trafford. They've got it done all the way around, both goal ends.
So-
They're similar in the sense to Celtic Park, where the south stand at Old Trafford, the Summit Busby stand, that's got a train track behind it, so it's like a tunnel underneath. You can't actually walk around it. But the other three ends, all done up, all really nice, paved all the way around. Costs a lot of money, but it's a lot of money that Celtic have. Dermot Desmond's a bloody billionaire.
What the fuck happened to the
The
hotel?
hotel.
Museum?
Bloody hell. That's something that I feel like should be brought up. But what is fucking happening? I think it has just been canned. But it's-
Defo, but that was actually like, brought up as like a pure serious proposition. And
Yeah,
that, and then it just sort of.
I think they failed to get planning permission, maybe.
Probably something to do with that, but because it was like I feel like the ticket office as well. Like, if I was to say anything about that, like the opening hours 11 till 2.
Yeah, there's
That's one that I'm like, what the fuck's the point in that? Like, I understand you've probably got people working from home and that, but it's not exactly the best hours. Cunts work Monday to Friday. The games, it's open before the games and like on the weekends, but apart from that, 11 to is a fucking shocking time. Then I think if you want to phone up as well, it's like 8p a minute. I'm saying that just because it's probably something like that, but
Love that.
but it's definitely something like pure stupid like that. So it's not exactly the best. The website's been improved, I think. Like, I think that's a bit more accessible, but nah, the ticket office is just. I was doing yesterday, and it's just a wee fucking cabin in a car park.
That is,
I'm not saying I want a multi-story, absolutely beautiful ticket office, but
It's better than the old ticket office, to be fair.
I suppose. But nah, I don't know.
Aye. Anything else you can think of?
I'm trying to
There's
think
not
of
really
gripes
much.
that I
No,
have.
no.
I mean, that, if anything, that's probably the only genuine one I have that I'm not even nitpicking about. I just don't like the ticket office.
Right, okay. Anything, Ryan? You're shaking your
I
head there.
just, it's easier to moan when the team aren't playing as well. Like, or like
but
the
doing
2 seasons
protesting
ago,
about it.
2 seasons ago, it was easy to moan. But the fact that we're winning, we are a fickle bunch.
Yeah, I
and
know.
I don't really have too many
They're
gripes at the
fucking
moment.
hypocrites, man.
Aye.
just love Ange.
No, but if you go on Twitter and you ask this question, there would be people who'd come up with a million different answers and nitpick at a lot
I
of
just can't
things.
think yet. No. Like, I probably could later or something will hit us.
The,
but
the weird pricing of the confectionaries at the stalls. £3.13 for a fucking.
it's definitely do like card
It's
charges
transaction
and that.
fees and that it'll be minimum price and
£60
stuff.
for a general sale ticket's a bit barking as well for Champions League.
Aye.
I understand you need to get a benefit for being a season ticket holder on that, but
Aye.
£60 a bit steep, isn't it?
Aye. Well, there's a few. If you've got any issues that you feel like should be raised, I don't think any of us will be. Well, we can't be present. We're in Germany. I don't think Ryan will be present.
No, I don't think so.
But
I gotta get an invite.
I don't know how it actually works, the invitation
The idea.
process. I know I
It's
seen that,
fans groups.
I
I know,
seen-
obviously it's the fans forum.
I
Obviously,
seen
Right,
that
Celtic Trust, isn't it?
I seen that Craig from 67 Hill
Fucking
is
Celts are
gone?
here.
Seltzer here.
Seltzer here, is that
Yeah.
who is it? Is it? Oh, it's Dave that's at 67 Hill, isn't it?
Fuck no, it's
Aye, so no, I was thinking of Dave there at first. It's Craig from Celts are here.
Aye.
He's going to be there. I know that. So I don't know how the invitation process and such works. But just keep an eye on Twitter. If you've got any pressing issues you would like to get raised, don't bring them to us because we're no fucking there. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the last segment. We're doing well for time today. 53 minutes in and we're on to the last segment of the show. So let's get into our favourite section, the section where we can have a bit of a laugh, and it is the Q&A mailbag segment of the show. We've got questions in for the first show in a while. Good to see the excitement, folk, for us being back. Hopefully that's just going to be back weekly now. I know I said that last time, but then I jetted off to Santa Ponza for 10 days. So aye.
Life happens, mate.
Life happens. And then obviously, Ryan, you're back in the mode now because that's you into journalism mode.
Aye, I've got the taste for it again. It sometimes goes away in like the summertime because you want to go out for a drink at the weekend and stuff. I still do that, but I want to get back into it as well. I've got my thinking cap on again. So,
Kieran, how you enjoying this? You started uni. How you doing? Are you enjoying
it? Aye.
Not bad.
I mean, I'll probably get into the swing of it, but still like pure introductions to classes and that. But
should we expect to see you on STV anytime soon?
I don't know. I doubt that very much.
Imagine you on there sitting shouting and swearing about everything.
I don't think I'd last longer than I'd be getting huckled out.
Huckled out by John Mackay.
Fuck off, John.
That's plenty from you, Kieran. Over to you, Ronnie.
here's Kieran with the sport.
Right, let's
What
get...
happened to Rahman then, if that's the case?
Poor Rahman there. Rahman away. Right, let's get into the questions. And the first one is from Kieran Sellik, of course, who gave us the tenor for today. So thank you again, Kieran. His question: Do some of our fans need to get a grip of themselves with some of the overreaction to recent performances? In quotation marks, lack of conviction, and in quotation marks, defensive frailties. Despite nearly 3 goals a game and only 5 conceded domestically, screams of people who just want to moan for the sake of it.
I mean, I think there's a lot of people that just like a fucking moan, to be fair, in the support. I'm not going to say people aren't entitled to their opinions and that, but sometimes I feel like opinions aren't exactly based on facts. They're just, it's sort of, I don't know, they get this impression and they just absolutely stick to it, nothing can change their mind. But I don't want to come out and say, oh, you're not entitled to not be happy, because it wasn't a decent performance the past couple of games. But I don't know, I just feel like, as Ryan said earlier, the team's earned their trust over the past year after what we Ange inherited last year. I think he's allowed a bit of leeway, and I think people maybe do need to just chill the fuck out a wee bit right now, because now's not the time to be hitting the panic button, and I think a lot of people are just so eager to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Ryan, any thoughts? I love how you're looking up the City lineup and I'm about to look up the United lineup for the day.
It's 25 minutes to kick off.
I know, I'm going to miss the start of it probably.
Aye, that's fine. Yeah, Haaland will have scored 2 by then.
Right, shut up. Oh Christ, McTominay's starting.
This is the Celtic defender. No, I think people just like to moan. We live in a society that... Oh, this sounds like the Joker saying that. But somebody's going to put the finger on
You live in a society.
But Scotland's a very much a moaning nation.
Yeah.
Like, we're 2 points clear. Think about where we were this time last season.
No, I know.
It's all about perspective. We'll be fine.
Some people don't have the minerals, as Spunkphone would say, for a title challenge. I just don't. I'm so fucking happy, right? So fucking happy that Twitter did not exist pre-20. Well, it did, but I wasn't on it, and barely. Celtic Twitter wouldn't have been big as it was now. Pre-2012. Imagine going through that magical 2007-8 campaign. Imagine you were on Twitter for that. It would suck the life right out you. You wouldn't be able to enjoy it. I love Twitter, right? I do. I've met some good pals on Twitter. I enjoy the banter on Twitter, but it has fucking ruined football.
It's not real life as well.
Oh, I know it's not. It's fucking ruined football.
Gimps, like, on football Twitter down south and that, like
ratio.
I honestly fucking put them in jail. Every last fucking one.
Hang them for the gallows.
They're all actual wee wrongins, man.
I actually seen a tweet, and it's obviously came from a 12-year-old or something, saying the streets won't forget Kaka, or an underrated. The guy won the World Cup,
the
Ballon d'Or as well, and he's comparing him to Tarat and Ben Arfa. Get a grip, man. Absolute gimps, man.
£50 million move to Real Madrid and the rest of it. And
I belong to Jesus.
He was my first favourite player.
Was he?
Aye.
No.
Just what a player.
Mine was Bobo Balde.
Why didn't Lennon take him down? In the San Siro. You've got to take him. He's got to do what Callum McGregor done.
I know. Right, Elliot with a question. Possibly a bit early, but coming into the new year, what position do you feel we need to strengthen in January? And also, best Celtic pub in Toon? Do you know I've started like that Murphy's?
Aye, it's good. They're all
Good,
robbing bastards, but
They are robbing bastards, a lot of them.
it's the same with Irish pubs around the world, but they just get away with charging
aye.
like so much better, and us silly bastards pay it. Right.
This would be the first one that I've been on since Dublin. Dublin, by the way.
Mate, I'm a
expensive.
good
Aye.
pal, mate. Now, when I went to Santa Ponsa, we were there with another family for Dublin. Shout out to Adam, who will not be listening. But shout out to Adam, brilliant lad. He's for Dublin. I think I'm going to try and go there and visit and go there
That's
soon.
nice, Ryan. Hurry up and get on, mate.
That was awful nice. Right, what is the best Celtic pub in town?
I don't know. I quite like that Murphy's now.
Murphy's are
I like
not.
it. I like it, Neil's.
I like Malone's as well. I think Malone's is decent.
Malone's is good, yeah.
Malone's is decent.
Is that a Celtic pub?
I've
more
not been
Irish.
to
Anything
Malone's.
Irish is a Celtic pub if
That
you
is
choose
true,
it to
that's
be.
true. Is Murphy's the one that you go
Underground. Aye.
Here, that is a sweat bath.
Oh,
when
it
it's
is.
busy.
It is. It is.
Awesome.
Fucking slip me out of the gaff, man.
Like a great atmosphere, and people are starting songs all the time. I was actually after the 2-each game, Celtic Rangers 2-each game, I was in the Squirrel. No,
Oh, Christ,
that
yeah.
is rough, man.
We have a story about the squirrel, but probably best.
I think we've already told them.
I think we have, but we tried to go to the squirrel, never got in.
See, I was in the Squirrel, and people were telling me about how bad I was in the TSF night out last year. Because the guy was there, and I was like, I don't need to hear this. I actually felt like going into the TSF group chat and apologising to all of you. I'm like, I'd only heard about this 5-6 months later.
I forgot what I was going to say, mate. It's just blanked. Doesn't matter. What position would you improve then? Off the top of your head.
He's our striker.
Another centre half for me.
I think centre half's the one that people are going to start saying now because the injuries that we've had to Carter Vickers and that. And I don't think it would hurt to have one more, but then you've got, I don't know, it's about balance as well because
I
it's
know,
about
it's
game
hard,
time
innit?
for all them.
It's hard.
You're not going to be able to bring in a pure tap range centre half.
I don't think we're desperate in any area.
No, I know.
I don't think we're desperate in any
Nah.
area, but I mean, cover would be nice anywhere, I suppose. Right,
Maybe, I
what were you going to say?
don't know, people might argue a winger, but I don't know.
Got a few now,
I
haven't
know.
I? Abada.
People are
Haxa.
pretty unhappy with my Ada, but
Yeah.
He is the new whipping boy, isn't he?
Yep.
Maida.
Cal is in the chat. It's Cal watching his FIFA pack openings on TikTok, man. The boy's got me a pack like me. I
I
tell you.
actually met Cal in real life.
Did you?
He's going to McDonald's.
Ah, aye. Good
Some
on you.
guy.
I know.
He's actually from Coatbridge as well, which I didn't realise.
well,
Good lad.
Cal, he's asked, do you think we should have digital season tickets or do you like the plastic ones?
I like having the actual card.
I want the book. Bring back the books.
The
That's what I
Amazon
want.
is screaming at you right now.
What?
The Amazon rainforest is just screaming at you.
How?
Chopped
Oh,
down
the
trees.
chopping
oh,
trees.
chopping down
But
trees.
do you not think the novelty of like walking up and getting your game stamped is cool?
I swear you're like 70
I
years
know,
old or
would you?
something.
Did you want to go to the hat in a suit and fucking bowler hat?
I've got Peaky Blinders.
I think it'd be brilliant to have a book.
Are we back to the fucking 60s?
We old fashioned retro season.
The thing about digital season
You
tickets.
can pay 50p at half time to come in. My dad always that's brilliant, isn't it? But you used to be able to go at half time. You could pay for a half. What?
Just stop living in the past, mate.
I think your dad watched the games in black and white, honestly.
He did watch the games in black and white, quite literally did.
Wow.
Quite literally
I
did.
mean it in person.
My dad started watching Sellik in the 60s.
Wow, what a guy.
Aye, so I mean, Christ. I
But
don't.
you've got to
I,
have something to hold.
I like something to
And
show
the-
off.
In the world of NFTs and all that, and contactless, you got to have something to hold.
I mean, like, I like it when you go abroad and you're like, oh, what team do you support? Sellik, oh, aye, season ticket holder. Yeah, season
Die hard,
ticket.
you see.
Right, AJ Celtic, shout out to them. Are you taking your AJ Celtic top to Leipzig, Kieran?
No, I've actually not got it packed.
Oh, have you know?
No.
That's good, I can take mine.
I assumed you'd have been taking it. I didn't want to be fucking matching with you again. Have we ever said the story about what happened in Rome?
No, don't think so.
When in
absolute
Rome?
fuming, man. Right. I was like, see the one I had on at the weekend, like what was it, 93, 94, like the retro away kit?
Basically, the away kit for this
Aye.
season, but the actual
But-
original one.
I was sitting there and I was like, right, Ryan, I think we played, what was it, the League Cup semi-final
Yeah.
against St Johnstone the weekend before. I was like, Ryan, right, I'm wearing this tote. We both had on the respective totes we're going to take with us. So he had one of the old ones with Moravchik on the back. I'm like, right, you said you're taking that therefore. We get to Rome, we're unpacking the bags. I'm like, Ryan, why is there a fucking one of these in there? He's like, I'm going to wear it on the day of the game. So we were kind of like a pair of arseholes. Fucking, he's like, they're both Celtic tats. I'm like, but there's no even, it's like, see if it was like that season's home or away tap, I'm like, fair enough. I can't complain. But both specific retro taps, and we're cutting about like a pair of fucking,
Identical twins.
absolute. Oh, I'm still raging thinking about it.
I didn't mean it. My
I was
man
like,
never
I'm
watched
shouting,
it.
like, what happened to the fucking Moravchik? My man's no washed.
My man hadn't washed it, so I just had
Put
to
blame on your fucking mom.
pick the first one.
Take some responsibility.
I like deflecting blame. I'm toxic. I like gaslighting.
Alright, fuck me. Right?
Right, AJ Celtic. I don't actually. By the way, just saying. Right, AJ Celtic said, "Would you rather have Gavin Strachan's career at Celtic, get Jacinta Snap, or share a sauna with Matt O'Reilly and Jota?"
The middle one.
Jacinta Snap. Now, see,
questions asked.
how far is Jacinta Snap? Listen, do you know what? I'm going to stand up here. We need to stop the sexualisation of Jacinta. Right? Have respect for the woman. That's my thoughts.
I never
That
said
was,
that.
that was a really long silence.
No,
that was your baby.
I'm saying it. She's a football player.
Did she not put up a Queen tribute to?
Did she?
Aye.
She's Australian, isn't she?
What, like Freddie Mercury or?
Oh, dear.
She was at the tribute night for Queen. That's what I thought you meant at first. See, when you said that, I was like,
I knew you were going to say that. Somehow I knew. Maybe I lined it up with that. I don't know.
no, I would go for Jacinta Snap as well. Just because I think
She's a goal scorer, by the way.
She'd be a
She
good-
scored.
aye. I think she'd be a good chat.
Month at half time. She had about 4 of them.
I think she'd be a good chat. I think she'd be for a laugh, you know. That's it. That's what I care about. Something like that. That's it. I mean, Gavin Strachan's career at Celtic, it's alright. And, you know, share a sauna with Matt O'Reilly and Jota is alright. But I mean, what's really going to come in it?
I'll take Strachan's laptop.
It's not his laptop, it's his career at Celtic.
Well, if I get his career, then I'm getting a laptop and all that.
True, right, fair enough.
Part and parcel.
And that Lennox Town Unfiltered, I heard him speak, and it just brought me back to his post-match, against like Livingston and that, and Hibs.
Aye.
Remember he was just standing there? He just doesn't give you that manager vibe, does he? He's a bridesmaid, he's never the bride, but I love him.
Right. Christ, do you think Celtic should put in a complaint about John Beaton?
He's just
don't know.
incompetent.
It's not going to get him anywhere.
Nah.
No, it's not, there's literally no
I
point.
just, all the refs up here is just absolute shocking.
That was
So,
Hail 1888.
There was a point yesterday where one of our players went down with a head knock, and yes, we're attacking, but you're supposed to stop the game for a head knock, and he just allowed it to continue. Like, that's just so incompetent. I'm not going to moan about the fact that we were attacking. Nothing came in the attack, obviously,
when
but
Hart got done yesterday as well.
people are saying he dived.
Did he?
Nah, there's talks about feigning an injury.
Good on him.
Good on him, huh? Good.
Dark
Fuck
arts.
the lot of them.
Love the dark arts.
Right, Max says, with Callum McGregor suspended for the next league game, is this the perfect topic? I've kind of spoke about that.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get to start. Zheng He asks, why do we not seriously invest in youth? I mean, go buy the best youth coaches across Europe from under 10s to under 18s. That's what we've had questions in relation to the youth setup before on this podcast, and once again I'll say I feel like it's a podcast on its own. There's so much to talk about when it comes to youth setup. I think the youth setup is incredibly underutilised and it's just not working to its best ability.
I don't know. I feel like everybody wants to have youth players come through, but none of us want to actually give them the chance.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
It's a real
As
one.
much as I feel like people have hypocrite saying it, because we're all guilty. Like you would much rather as pay money for a player to come in. You feel more confident in them starting instead of giving a young player a chance. But you look at the success stories of Callum McGregor, Kieran Tierney, James Forrest. Like it's possible, but it's not happening to the same extent as you need it to be. You've got Ralston, Stephen Welsh, but it's players that I don't know. People at the time wouldn't have wanted to have Stephen Welsh getting that many games. Now he's found himself as a squad player for Celtic. I don't know. I feel like you need to be pretty special to make it at Celtic come through the academy, because there's so many players that come through and their career just tails off pretty rapidly, to be fair, because you see a lot of them playing in the low leagues of Scottish football, and even then some of the time that's some of the highest standard a lot of them play at. Some of them play down south in the lower leagues. Like you look at players that were so highly rated, like Calvin Miller.
Oh, Miller, yeah.
Who's he at now? Like Harrogate or something? Or like
Something like that.
Because he went. You had players going down to Forest Green and teams like this. So players that are so highly thought of that to just sort of fade away into nothing. Like I don't know. I feel like it's something that really does need to be looked at, but you need to start looking at it now to reap the rewards in a few years. And I think a lot of people are just focused on the here and now.
It doesn't help when your players are getting poached as well at 18 years old by teams like Bayern Munich and Liverpool.
Yeah,
Hepburn and Morrison and players
Doak
like that.
as
Ben
well.
Doak,
Doak, really.
Aye,
Setting
he's
it like
doing
down
well.
south for the youth team down there, and for Scotland's under 21s,
Yeah.
I think he's playing for. Either under 18s or under 21s, but he's going to be a really good
He's
player.
only like 16, isn't he?
Aye.
That's fucking
It kind of
nuts.
ties into Aaron Smith's question. And he asked the question, is there much of a point in there being a B team when we're constantly signing players in every position, meaning they aren't going to get a chance in the senior squad? Not saying making signings is bad, but only guys we've called up are players like Doak, and they instantly left to go to Liverpool.
The thing is, if you've got if you're in a position to buy players that are better than the players that are getting developed, then you're obviously going to buy players because it improves the team. It's a winning business at the end of the day. We need to win.
I think one thing that has to be considered with a club like Celtic as well is we are a Champions League club now, and the B team players aren't Champions League players, so there is the kind of line you've got. You know, it is difficult. You know, you would want to see more youth come through. As Kieran, you touched on it perfectly. You want to see youth come through, but then again, if you're not developing the standard of player that you need, then
see, you look at players coming
do.
through, but and you think in a few years you'd like to think like Rocco Vata would hopefully be at a level that fans would be okay to see him starting and actually try to break into the team. But I think it's just, I don't know, it's a weird one because you see players that have came through, they've done it, but it's just about actually getting the chance. And I think a lot of things need to fall into place perfectly for things to happen, like with Tierney and that getting into the team, with Izagiri getting injured and stuff. So I don't know, I think the stars need to align a wee bit for players at Celtic. Because, I mean, you look at McGregor went to Notts County on loan, that worked out perfect, but you look at how many loan moves Scott Robertson's had to teams like Crewe and Gillingham and Doncaster. So it's like, is it going to work out for these boys? I doubt it, but you don't want to say that, but you can't see any real route into the team.
Yeah,
I've seen Scott Robertson in the videos for the training at Lennox, so I completely forgot about him. He's in a bit of a limbo because I know his contract's up at the end.
He's basically away.
He's training. He's keeping fit until
he's got to be
January.
away. I feel bad for him.
Until William Shaw, did he go?
He's in
Morecambe.
Right, and the last question this week, we've got these Scran questions.
Fucking poor for you lot.
This is terrible.
People grown up a bit.
Where is the Scran questions this week? What did they have for
Sure
their
questions. I'm not a fan of it.
What did they have for their dinner last night? There's one. My dinner was rotten.
My dinner was great.
Chinese.
Aye,
Superfoods.
What'd you
Chicken
get?
black bean.
Chicken black bean.
Nah, it's nice.
Black bean good.
That's nice.
Never had that.
I don't ever really had it for like buffets and that in the past, but it's nice.
What about you? Did you have?
Chicken boona.
Fuck me, man.
Do you know? But I've made a really good decision. I'm going to do this from now on. Instead of getting a portion of chips, which can be quite filling, I get a naan bread, and I could just get the boona sauce, get the rest of it off the
7
plate.
naans, Jeremy. That's insane. That sounds good.
A boona, unreal. And the boonas have improved in the place that I go to recently.
I got a fucking chicken leg. Which was that looked like a big fucking
Just
cartoon.
a wee disabled chicken somewhere.
So a chicken leg, you know, like you obviously get the whole leg, it's like the thigh and the drumstick and all that, so the whole thing for the Morrison's Deli count honking.
I used to quite like the chicken from Morrison's.
Fucking rotten. I felt sick all night. Had that with chips and beetroot and pickles.
I never really felt sick, you barking bastard.
What's wrong with pickles and beetroot?
Everything.
I love pickles and beetroot, man. Drinking the beetroot juice at the jar and all that.
You deserve fame artist.
What are we having for dinner tonight then?
Dunno.
Whatever my dad chooses, because we're going to the gig tonight.
So yeah, Morrissey.
Yep.
And if a double decker
He
bus
has to sing it again.
crashes into us.
Going to see my second favourite right winger after Jota. It's true.
He's
You've
a
got
bit
to
of a
separate
wank, isn't he?
You've got to separate the art from the artist.
As we were there last night, and I'm not even going to tell a story. That's us. That's the podcast.
You'll never know.
Fucking the derby starts in 8 minutes, man. And I've got.
Haaland will have a hat trick.
It'll be half time by the time I'm home.
It'll be over.
I
It'll be
would like
over.
to get a coupon.
So it's been a pleasure, ladies and gents. I'm so happy to be back. Next weekend, me and Kieran will probably be off it because we'll probably be on it all week. So who knows? Maybe you'll see us in this studio post St Johnstone. St Johnstone's Saturday, isn't it?
Is it Saturday?
So maybe it'll be post. Maybe it'll be another Sunday show next week. Who knows?
Potentially,
Depending on
yeah.
what we're doing. If not, maybe Monday or so. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But thank you for coming back to the podcast. I hope it goes down well. I hope it's a roaring success, and I hope you have all enjoyed. Ryan, thanks very much, mate.
Thanks for having me.
You
mate.
enjoyed your return.
Loved it, mate. Loved every minute.
Good. Kieran,
Get me him.
I'll see you tomorrow morning anyway.
Oh Christ, aye. Bright and early.
Bright and early.
Enjoy, lads.
Good trip, man. Good trip. Right. Thanks. See you all next time.